Hello everyone, I'm Laura Barat from laurabaratastrologer.com, and today I am here to discuss the sun in the first house. I'll be going through all of the planets in the first house, and I'm starting with the sun, the first planet. So first of all, the first house is like a mini horoscope. It basically is our natural way of being, okay? It's also the path we walk in life. The sign on the first cusp, or the sign of the ascendant, really gives a strong indication of our characteristics and how we engage with the world. It's part of the path we walk, the part of the path of our physical body, okay? And it's we start out walking that path in the beginning of our life, in the first half of life. The second half of life, we start to meet with more experiences of the seventh cusp, or the descendant. The sign on the descendant, we become more like the sign on the descendant because we are dealing with things or phenomena in the world that express that sign, and we react to those things in a way that expresses that sign, okay? Now, the sun is an identity factor, and the first house is an identity factor. The sun is the natural karaka, or the natural atmakaraka. We have a particular atmakaraka, which is called a chara karaka, or a changeable karaka, that indicates the self, and that is the planet in the highest degrees of a sign. Then we have the natural karaka of the self, which is the sun. And the sun represents our true individuality, our uniqueness, what is unique to us, and especially what we get very inspired by. And it doesn't matter what that is. It can be anything in the entire world that you can get inspired by, but most of those things that people get really inspired to do, and it's a natural part of who they are, those are very specific. And so that is indicated by the sun. The sun is also the connection to our higher self. It is, no planet really represents the soul, but the sun is that connection to our soul nature, our true individuality, acting in accordance with our own inner nature, and following that, okay? It is a planet of Dharma. The sun and Jupiter are both planets of Dharma, and because we listen to that inspiring, true, unique voice that we have, our inner voice, okay? When it's in the first house, the person usually does that very well. They're really in touch with their higher selves. They have a guiding light, so to speak, okay? Even if the sun is in a enemy sign, it's still something that is considered to be a strength. For example, if the sun is in a sign of Saturn, like Capricorn or Aquarius in the first house, the person is usually in an environment that doesn't really support their unique individuality, but they express it anyway. They go against the grain, so to speak. And the same thing if the sun is in Taurus or Libra, planets, or in a sign of Venus. Venus is an enemy to the sun. With Venus, it's more, Venus has to do with society and societal expectations and compromise, things like that. That's what Venus represents. So, and the sun does not like to compromise. He likes to be his true individual self. So the person has this battle going on by expressing their true individuality, okay? And so when they have that Libra or Taurus rising, and they have the sun in Taurus or Libra in the first house, then that indicates that the person will also go against the wishes of society to express themselves. Okay. With Saturn signs, it's a little more about the fighting against what the burdens of responsibilities to express that individuality. Okay. Another thing about the sun in the first house is that the sun is a planet of being alone. Okay. It's not a relationship planet. You can't embrace the sun. You know, it's hot. It's powerful. It's giving all the light. It's the connection to the higher self. That's a very personal thing. Okay. That's not a relationship centered thing. It's the relationship with yourself. And so where the sun is in a chart, you have more of an independent attitude. So having the sun in the first house, the person is usually extremely independent. They think for themselves. They're their own boss. Even if they do work for a boss or a corporation and they have people over them, they're going to do things their own way. And there's really nothing that anybody else can do to make them follow another path besides the one that comes from within. Okay, so very strong independent streak. Any planet in the first house is extremely emphasized in the personality and in the general personality, and usually in the appearance. The first house is also the body. So, and the sun is the planet of the body in total. I was talking about this, I can't remember which video it was, but the sun represents the body in total. It's also the foundation of the body, which is the skeletal system. In Western astrology, that's different, okay? But in the Vedic system, the sun is, he says the sun is the foundation. That is the skeletal system. And it's also the immune system, fighting off infection, okay? So usually when the sun is in the ascendant, unless he's afflicted by Saturn or Venus, meaning he's conjoined Saturn or Venus, or getting a strong aspect from one of those, usually the health is pretty good. Okay, the person can fight infection very easily, and they have a strong skeletal structure. They usually have good teeth, and you know, they're not prone to arthritis or any of those things that have to do with the skeletal system. Also, the person is walking the path of the sun. And, well, what does that mean? It means that they are here to express their natural individuality and inspire others to do the same by following their own individuality and individual unique inspirations. Because the sun is designed to inspire people. The sun in the ascendant can make a person more sunny. You know, it's just, you kind of want to be around them. They usually seem to be that way. Okay. And then they like to follow a spiritual path that is more internalized. Okay, rather than something that is involved with groups, okay, but unless the sun is in Aquarius and the rising is Aquarius, because Aquarius is very, very group oriented. But usually the sun and the ascendant, the person likes to do esoteric practices, metaphysical practices on their own. Doing it with a group just kind of doesn't really feel right. So, but it's usually very important for them to get in touch with their higher self in some fashion. It's very important for them because it's part of the path they're walking. Okay, and they can have that really strong inner connection, especially when they're following their inspirations. Another thing about the sun is wherever the sun is placed, not just the first house, but I'm going to tell you what it means in the first. But when the sun is in, wherever the sun is in the chart, usually the person comes to express that house later in life, and they come to do that very strongly. And the reason is because, again, the sun is our higher self, and the sun is the natural expression where we don't have to adapt or compromise, which are indications of the moon. The moon is all about adapting, and the moon is usually what we use in the first part of life, especially when we're children, because you have to adapt to your environment. You have people in charge of you, right? Your parents or, caregivers. And, you grow up in school and you have to follow the rules. You have to adapt. And especially, you don't have the financial foundation to really do exactly what you want, unless it's something more financially focused. And when you get older and you have a stronger foundation for what you want to do, you begin to express your sun more. If the sun is in the first house, it's usually something around your body, okay? When it's in the first, as you get older, you may become very more interested in like bodybuilding or fitness or CrossFit, doing yoga, doing martial arts, doing something that there's a focus on the body in some way, some type of athleticism or dance or something like that, okay, where your body is needed. It also can be where you have to express your uniqueness no matter what. You have to do it in everything. And you want to shine, the sun, right? You're walking the path of shining. So that is very important, okay? And being healthy, taking care of your body, that's also going to be very important. So wherever the sun is an area of life where we are very involved in. Probably not as much as we would like to be in the earlier part of life, but as we become more independent, more financially secure, we're able to express that sun more, okay? And we don't have to compromise as much. And people with the sun in the ascendant don't like to compromise. They like to do what they want to do, and that's it. That's the nature of the sun. The sun is the boss. The sun represents your boss, but if it's in the ascendant, you really want to be your own boss. A lot of times these people are entrepreneurs, they're working for themselves, or they are in charge of other people. So it is important to remember, if you have the sun in the ascendant, if you're in situations where you feel very frustrated, you don't like people telling you what to do, you don't like being dictated to. The sun is the one that dictates to others. But when it's in the ascendant, you don't like others dictating to you because you're the boss. You understand that you are in charge of your life. And you want to live that way all the time. So getting into professions where you're working under people, where you have to take a lot of orders, probably isn't the best choice. Okay, so just to put that out there, right? And I covered health. Let's see, what else did I cover? Oh, and it can make the person a little more in tune with their father or their father's outlook on life. If they're not close to their father, they're more like their father's personality. Okay. And again, there are usually a strong interest in spirituality, but the type of spirituality that is more geared towards practicing it alone, like meditation or journeying, any of those types of things, performing rituals by yourself, all that type of stuff is more sun oriented. Okay, so that's it for today for the sun in the first house. And I hope you join me for more videos. I'm going to go planets through all the houses And in addition to that, I'm going to continue on with videos about the Vargas, all kinds of types of videos. So thanks a lot. And if you're not subscribed, please check that subscription button and put on notifications. Thanks very much. Bye.